Jazz Spurs preseason game number 2. Let's talk about it.
Biombo. Short. Rebound. Hendricks. Outlet. Keontae. Jazz have numbers. Clayton Jr. with a hammer down with 2 hands.
Yeah, and it should have been a foul call. Got hit.
Jazz Smack, NBA and Utah Jazz basketball.
So that was an awesome play by Walt. Going down on the break late, throwing down the dunk, pass from Keontae. Terrific play. Unfortunately for that, right after that, Spurs made a 3, and at least the game went into overtime. It was a heck of a game, though. Exciting throughout. Jazz got down. They fight back. They never really hung their heads. Yes, the Spurs went to their bench players and also their non-rotation players in the second half, was certainly aided the Jazz ability to get back into the game. But terrific game. Absolutely awesome. So in this particular game, I think there were some standout plays, and some guys made some plus plays on the defensive end and hustle plays, and that is one of the big things that allowed the Jazz to get back into the game. And it was just from start to finish. I thought it was very entertaining.
Yeah, it's surprising that this is the preseason and they're playing as well as they are. I mean, there's things that we pointed out in the last game that need to improve, and in this game too. But in a bunch of guys that are coming together for the first time, they really played offensively very well, and they played as a team. So give them credit for that. Give Hardy credit for that, because that's been really good. And there were some really exciting things tonight, and some things that you and I have been trying to temper our enthusiasm because we didn't want to be like some other commentators and just overreact. But I think now 2 games in a row from a couple of standout players, I mean, you can see it. You can see it. So let's get into that.
Yeah, and well, one of the things I want to talk about and focus on, I mean, after the last game against Houston, we both made the comment, why are these veteran players like Svi and stuff getting such huge minutes? Tonight, it was completely different. Those minutes for those veteran players were reduced, and Cody had a really solid game. Nice game. But he got another big boost in minutes. And so the bulk of the minutes in this game went to the younger core, and that's the way it should be, especially here in the preseason. I mean, let's face facts. These veteran players who are on the Jazz right now, who are the ones playing, don't have a lot of trade value in the open market. I mean, Kevin Love at this point in his career doesn't have that. So playing him minutes in order to have some sort of trade asset, that's not the case. Kyle Anderson doesn't have a lot of trade value. It's just Svi doesn't have a lot of trade value. The one guy who does, who I think should play, because I think shortchanging him would be really unfortunate, and that's George Niang. So I think George Niang should get some minutes. I don't think that George Niang's minutes should be reduced to 12 minutes a game, even though George Niang is not a long-term piece for the Utah Jazz. I don't think you should shortchange George Niang's minutes once he returns and is able to actually play.
Yeah, the other guy I would point out that I think has been really helpful the first 2 games, and this is because of other injured players, so it's going to change. But right now, Nurkic playing is very helpful. I mean, he's setting the high pick and roll and the handoff really well. And a young player just doesn't know how to do that. So I give him credit. I was really negative on the trade, and I still am, because you're giving away Colin Sexton where you had to throw in a second-round pick, and I still have no idea what you're doing. And one, you're giving Colin to a team he should not be playing for, versus just cut him and let him go where he wants to go, right? And then you'd have to give up a second-round pick. But he has looked good, honestly. I think he's helping the young guys. So I think him and Niang are really interesting. Kyle Anderson, I've always felt as an underrated player, but I got to tell you right now, he looks worse than our young players.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like Cody Williams tonight. Do you think Cody or Kyle Anderson was a better player? Cody, right? By far.
Yeah.
Like Kyle Anderson put up that three that, man, it looked awkward. I think I haven't played in 10 years. Well, probably longer than that. I think my three would look better than that. I mean, it was ugly. So, so I agree with you on these players.
Yeah, Kyle has that weird hitch in his shot where it's not a fluid motion, and he's had that problem since he was at UCLA. So he never corrected that, and so that goes to show everybody, not all shooting can be corrected or improved. I mean, some of these habits are really hard to break, and Kyle Anderson is representative of that. But yes, Kyle, I like Kyle. I think Kyle has good feel. I thought he had good feel when he was at UCLA. I thought he was an NBA player while he was at UCLA. He certainly has proved that. He plays for I think he's playing for the Chinese national team. I'm pretty sure he was. He plays for the Chinese national team. He has Chinese heritage. But, at this point, especially at this point in his career, those guys just don't have a lot of value. Nurkic, in terms of running offense from up top, he's way better at that than Walker is. Vastly better. Yeah. I mean, Kyle is a good passer. Kyle understands how to pass. But even Kyle, in terms of actually running the offense with all those handoffs and stuff, Nurkic is better than Kyle too at that. I mean, I think Kyle is actually better on the bounce passes, some of those backdoor bounce passes and stuff. I think he might be better than Nurkic. But in terms of actually running all the handoffs and everything at the top, Nurkic is by far the best on the team at doing that. There's no doubt. And that certainly helps the young guys run offense. I mean, the Jazz really broke down a few times late, and Hardy was really upset because the ball was sticking, especially in Brice's hands. The ball started to stick, and they weren't getting anything out of it. The guys weren't moving. The ball wasn't moving, and it was pretty ugly. And so, it's there's a give and take between playing the veteran players to help the young guys, but then taking minutes away from the young guys while the veterans play. So it's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah, but when you say you need veteran guys on your team, I absolutely think that's the case. Yeah. You just need to find the right ones that are not saying, look, I've got to play. I play 15 minutes, I help players, because Nurkic can really help Walker learn how to do that, right? And he also was able to shoot over Wembanyama. I was surprised. He's, no one can shoot over Wembanyama. I mean, it's he blocked Brice once. It's incredible, how long that guy is. And he was able to drive down and shoot over him. Nurkic has learned how to play basketball. He's a good basketball player. So, to me, having him on the team and helping solidify things when they break down is a real positive. Now, come trade deadline, if somebody wants him, can give something up. Yeah, I want to move him, right? But for now, I think he's a real positive on the team, as I do Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, like you said, you're a fan of Kyle Anderson. I am too. He's a solid player on whatever team he's on. And if you're a championship level team, having Kyle Anderson on your bench to come in, not a bad outcome. He's only 32 years old. I don't think he's going to get a first round pick. Don't get me wrong. But, I think he's a player that still should be in the league. Yeah.
And I will commend the Jazz, the franchise, for doing a really good job with veteran players this offseason. So I think they brought in really helpful guys who can both help the young guys on the court and in the locker room. I mean, there's never been any issues with Love or Niang or Kyle Anderson, Nurkic. I mean, all these guys have been generally really good, positive influences on the teams that they have played on. And so I commend the Jazz front office for doing that this offseason, not bringing in any problem players. So I think that's a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah, and guys that insist on I need to play 25 minutes because I need to get my next contract, right? You know, so it's very different with Nurkic and Anderson. Look, I think Anderson still hangs around 4 or 5 more years in the league because I think he's that good of influence. But he's not trying to get a $30 million a year contract, right? He knows who he is. He's not looking for that. He's not going to get that. No one knows that. So it's good. But it was great to see Cody get more minutes tonight. And the other guy, like you said, was sticking with Sensabaugh. I am so impressed with how Sensabaugh looks relative to what he did. the last year. I mean, remember last year he couldn't get into games. He got a DNP like 4 or 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, he's a real NBA player. Like I don't know if he'll be on the Jazz forever, but he's a real NBA player. I mean, that guy can score. And it's not just spot up shooting. He now goes to the hoop hard. He has a step back. I mean, that guy is a real NBA player.
Yeah. His body has certainly improved too. I mean, he definitely worked on that from the end of last season until this preseason. I mean, he looks better. I mean, that when he drove down the lane for that dunk against Houston, I mean, obviously, I never remember him doing anything like that in his previous couple of seasons. That was a really good play. He's looking great. I mean, he certainly deserves time for the Jazz this season, 100%. So one of the interesting things that I wanted to touch on with the Jazz, I want to look at the shot charts for Ace Bailey, because I thought it was really interesting. Because I was looking at this today, and I thought it was really interesting looking at the shot charts that Ace Bailey put up for these first 2 preseason games. And the thing that I want to point out, the thing that I have been begging the Jazz to do with Lowry over the past 3 years, is get him more mid-range shots. And so far, these first 2 games with Ace, I mean, he's taken mid-range shots, and he has looked really good shooting those mid-range shots. I mean, you can see this against Houston. You can see here, he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mid-range shots. He makes 5 out of 7, and he made it look really easy. I mean, absolutely beautiful. And then the second game against the Spurs, again, he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mid-range shots. He makes 4 of those. And again, I think that the Jazz must do a better job in incorporating this into the offense this season, so the offense is a little bit more varied, and use both Lowry and Ace in this manner and get them the ball coming off of picks inside of the 3-point line, where they can get either all the way to the basket, on the way to the basket, or they can pull up for the mid-range. I mean, you can get the ball to Ace going either direction. He can shoot it going right. He can shoot it going left. Lowry is more of a shoot it going right type guy, but still utilize both those guys in this manner. I think it makes the game a heck of a lot more interesting, and it varies the offense much more, so you're so not dependent on the 3-point shot.
Yeah, let's see if it carries over to the regular season, because Hardy is all about playing the money ball of the NBA of trying to shoot 3-pointers, maybe more so than any other coach in the league. Probably not. There's probably other coaches that want to do the same. Boston wants to do the same, but it's all a bit about the 3-point shot. And Ace, he's the guy I didn't want to get overly excited after the last game, because I heard like too many people like just, but this kid he's 19, no fear, incredible confidence, smooth shot, quick shot, can score in so many different ways. I mean, it is impressive. I mean, this guy looks so good. And I watched in the preseason, I watched it in a little bit of Knipple. I think you did too, because I watched the Charlotte game. I think that's the only guy I've watched at all. So I can't say, okay, he's going to be better than this person or this person. But it would not shock me. I'll make a bold. It would not shock me if he's the best player in this class, because this kid is good.
Yeah, he certainly has that capability. I mean, obviously Dylan Harper played some tonight, but Ace has been really good. I mean, he has all the talent in the world, and he's been terrific so far. And tonight, he didn't score as many points tonight, but quite frankly, I'm not so sure that tonight's game wasn't a better game than the last game. I mean, he was great, and he made some plus plays where he really didn't need to make those plays. That one where he kind of stripped the ball on the rebound from the guy, and then he saved it on the baseline and put it out to, I think, Walt around the top of the key. I mean, that was an awesome play. I mean, it was just a terrific. It's not really a play that even shows up, because I don't think he's going to get a steal for that. But it's not a play that shows up in the box score. But that's a plus play. That's how you win games. That's how you become a good team making those types of plays. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I was super impressed with Ace tonight, as I was with. I thought Cody played well, and Walt again. Walt was terrific. I mean, compared to that last game, is night and day difference. He wasn't nearly as jittery. He looked a little bit more comfortable, but again, most of his assists right now, like Keontae's for the most part, are coming to guys standing on the three-point line, because Walt has a tendency, even if he might be able to make a floater or something, if there's somebody open on the three-point line, he's going to pitch it. He's going to get it out of the three. So those are most where of his assists are coming right now. And I saw this progression with Darren too. When Darren came in, his rookie year at the Jazz, all of his assists were over the top. He wasn't even throwing bounce passes and stuff. So the guys need to get comfortable, and I still hope that Ace takes the trajectory of Darren and kind of moves in that direction. That's my hope for him. That's why I wanted the Jazz to draft the kid. But we'll see if that turns out. But Walt was just terrific tonight.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll first comment on Keontae. Keontae had good assist numbers again. 3 turnovers, not too many. Had 9 rebounds. You got to give him credit for that. I mean, He was rebounding the ball. He looked really good in doing that. And his percentage was not terrible, but he had some makes at the end of the game, including like that 3-pointer that brought the percentage up, because before that his percentage was not great. But I think he played a good solid game. So that's 2 games in a row that he's played well. Having said that, I look at Walt's numbers where he had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, fewer minutes, 2 turnovers, but he's still getting the hang of it. Like if you look at him and the smoothness in the 3-point shot of how quick and fast it goes up, and once he gets a little more confident, he's just going to knock that thing down. He looks better. He looks better to me right now. Now, he doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the burst. He doesn't have any of that Isaiah Collier has. But he has a well-rounded game. And I had no idea he had the hops to do that. Like your intro, so I looked up his measurables. His measurable was, what is it? Let me just take a look at it because I just had it up.
His vertical's
his
good.
Max
it's like
37.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's not like Jordan-esque, right? I mean, it's not in the 40s or Dr. Duncanstein, but it's good. I didn't know he had that level of hop. So he's got the athleticism. He's got an incredible shot, and he's decent with the assists, and he's not a pure point guard, but he can learn it. Keontae's not a pure point guard, and you and I don't think he's a point guard, so it's interesting. It wouldn't shock me if he does take over the point guard role.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I got to give Keontae credit too. I mean, he's played better so far this year. I mean, he hasn't played terrific. When the Jazz when they dug themselves that huge hole, it was Keontae came in the game. He fouled a guy on a 3. He committed a crazy turnover where he just threw the ball out of bounds, and then he got his shot blocked. And then the Jazz dug themselves a huge hole. So Keontae was certainly a contributor to the Jazz digging themselves a hole. But I have to give him credit. He made that big 3 at the end, massive shot. He's played well. The rebounding from the guard position, I mean, throughout the game, he started out the game rebounding the ball really well, and it continued throughout the game. Got to give him credit for that. So far, I think Keontae has certainly improved, and he needs to sustain this. So we'll see how it goes. I'm right now. I'm optimistic. These first 2 games will be thoroughly entertaining, and if they keep this up, this is going to be a much more interesting year to watch the team than the previous 2 years.
Yeah, 35 minutes for Keontae, 11 shots. Right. So he has really learned something. Somebody has sat him down and said, look, you should not be gunning every time. You've got to set up the team. And he's doing that. And the 9 rebounds is very impressive. So let's give the guy credit. Huge shot at the end. Ace took one, missed it badly. Bad shot by Ace right before that. Keontae came in, was pressured, but knocked it down. You got to give him credit for that. So let's hope. I mean, right. Let's hope it's a competition. We got 2 guys that are playing really well. and hopefully Isaiah as well. Like, where I'm excited to see what Isaiah does. I heard one thing Locke said about Isaiah, which, I kind of discount, but I'm going to pass it along in case you did hear it, is that he said he was talking to Isaiah, and Isaiah has something like a pin or a screw in his hand or in his wrist or in his thumb or something, and it came loose last year, and that's what affected his shooting. And so he feels a lot better about it this year. Where I'm discounting it as a bit is we watched him this summer, and he didn't look any different. So, I'm discounting it, but it was like a fact that I didn't have up to that point. So let's hope that actually is, comes to bear, and his shot looks better this year.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Obviously, I mean, the kid has a lot of talent. The shooting is a real problem, and that's his only real weakness that may push him out of the league right now. I mean, if he doesn't stick in the league, it's because of that shooting. Other than that, he can certainly stick in the league. How big a role, that depends on him. But the shooting part of it, that could actually push him out of the league if he doesn't improve that. Because there are a lot of guards who have been pushed out of the league who have struggled with shooting. And Isaiah will just be another one of those guys if he doesn't correct that to some extent.
Well, let me ask you this: if you were playing pickup ball, and you had a bunch of guys on the other team that were jerks and were aggressive and hard fouls and this and that, who on the Jazz would you want to be with you? Like, who would you want to be on?
Isaiah Collier.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you think, and you want those guys on your team. You don't want Keontae, right? I mean, he'd back down from anybody. Like, you want Isaiah, you want Nurkic, right? You want Taylor. So that's like he has some, like, if he could solve that shooting problem, like, he is the only guy on our team that can throw the passes he does right now, right? Like, maybe Walt learns it, but right now, the passes
by far the best.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to coming back. Let's hope the shooting is improved, because I don't want to discount him either, because I'm bullish on Isaiah, but we both see, like, look, that shooting is such a flaw that something has to change.
Yeah. Well, those are really all my observations for this game and all my comments. Do you have anything else to add for this particular game and anything that's happened with the Jazz or anything else in the
NBA? I think in general, I've only watched the Jazz and a little bit of the Hornets.
Charlotte,
to have an opinion. And it looks like Colin's getting the shaft there too. But,
and quite frankly, Colin could contend for being their best player in terms of actually winning games right now, because like I said, I have no faith in those guys on that team. I have no faith in LaMelo. I mean, Knippel's really young. I don't know what he's going to do. I just don't have a lot of faith in that group of players. So if they choose not to play Colin, it's not really, they're simply not trying to win games, because I think Colin can actually help that team win games as much as anybody else on that roster. So, he very well may get the shaft, and he's not under a long-term contract, so there's no really incentive for the Charlotte Hornets to play the guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, they know he's going to go somewhere else most likely at the end of the season, and that's where I would have done Colin a solid and just bought him out and let him go somewhere where he feels like it's his best fit, where he can build himself up. But the one thing I'll tell you, and I didn't watch it long, I saw Colin do somebody walks behind him and, while he's guarding somebody, let him just walk down the lane. I don't miss that. There was like 2 or 3 of those where Colin could have turned around and put a little, got in front of him or something like that, and there was like nothing. So it reminded me, like, man, I do not miss that at all. That Matador defense. And it wasn't only him. Like, it was the whole Jazz team, but Colin has not changed in Charlotte. He's still the same guy on the defensive end.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon, is considering that's kind of a habit at this point. All right. Well, I think we will call this this edition of Jazz Smack, and we encourage everybody to please like, share, and subscribe for those watching us on YouTube. You can also follow us at Jazz Smack on X, and we will talk to everybody later.